Well, I'm sure we'll play. The other night after the game, you said something about perhaps tweaking some things offensively, maybe even with respect to personnel. So
Yeah.
the last few days, how have you looked at that, and what can you tell us about any potential decisions maybe you've made?
I'm continuing to look at that, not just on the offensive end, but defensively, doing some different things to put us in a better position to get steals and deflections, to get stops offensively, to get better shots, to get shots and more shots to the guys that we want them to shoot, and to have combinations out there, trying combinations out there that might work better when teams are really packing the paint against us and making it very difficult for us to, whether it's to feed the post or to penetrate and be able to get to the basket. And so those are things that I talked about before, that I've thought about and practiced this week, and we'll practice more of that today and tomorrow, and we'll see that on Sunday. See that Sunday against NC State.
Staying on that, what is the challenge in finding the balance between getting maybe a little bit more scoring, or to allow you to do what you're trying to do offensively without losing anything defensively?
Well, I think it comes from two different directions. You know, it's also, you have to look at individual matchups as well. I just remember early in my career in the NBA, I mean, I could shoot the ball, but, you know, the first couple of years, you know, at times they were reluctant to put me in a game because I'd give up a bucket. And so I had to get to a point where I could guard my position, and so that when I was out there on the floor, I could be a positive impact on both ends. And so those are things that we look at, those are things that we talk about, and in terms of matchups, making sure that we're efficient on the offensive end and put us in a position that we can get the shots that we want, but also on the defensive end that we've got the matchups that we want, that we can get stops. Because I always believe with this group, and not just with this group, and just moving forward, it all starts with defense. And I just feel like when we're good on the defensive end and we allow one shot every possession and we get the rebound, that allows us to get out in transition. I just think our offense is so much better when we're more efficient and locked in defensively.
What ways, Hubert, do you feel like State is different than the first time you met?
Well, they're a really good basketball team. I mean, they can just really score from a number of different positions, and their ability to consistently, on every possession, be able to score in the post and on the perimeter is very difficult to play against. I think they're really good defensively, the way that they pressure, the way that they make you extend your offense and make you run your offense further out than you do in shoot around. And they're just a really good basketball team. And they've got some guys that are healthy now that bring to the table something a little bit different, especially from the power forward position, from the standpoint that being able to shoot the ball from the outside, be able to handle the ball, be able to make plays on the perimeter. And so that just adds to their strength on the offensive end and their ability to be able to score in many different ways.
Hubert, with NC State, you guys have Virginia and Duke coming up over the rest of the regular season too, but teams that you'll have played a second time.
Yeah.
Does anything change about the preparation process the second time? How much does that first matchup go into the second one, just sort of generally your philosophy?
Well, I mean, obviously, after the first game, you look at things that you did well, things that, you want to improve on, and those are things that you look at and want to continue to do the things that you did well, and address the things that you feel like that you could have done better in that particular game. But also, they make adjustments as well. Win or lose, everybody makes adjustments. And so I would say, there's adjustments that go in before the second game, but there's also adjustments during that second game that, and those are things that you practice. Those are things that you talk to the team about in preparation that, things are successful or don't go well this way, then we can automatically turn to this. And so in preparation for state, we've looked at that game, and because of some of their players are now healthy, it has changed their team, but there are also similarities. They can score, they can defend, they put pressure on you, and they're really talented. And so we knew that the first time, and we know that the second time as well.
Coach Kevin Keith said this morning in his press conference that it's really unique being able to see DJ Burns go up against Armando Bacot, and that it's kind of old-fashioned in a way, what you don't really see anymore in college basketball. Does that make the game more entertaining for you watching it when you're watching the play, whether it's on the offensive or defensive side of the ball, seeing them go up
I
against
think
each
it'd be
other?
more entertaining if DJ wasn't there. That'd be great. It's just Armando was down at the ball.
In what way?
That's really entertaining. No, DJ's he's one of the most gifted bigs in terms of his touch, being able to score with contact, his passing ability. He just puts you in a pinch because it's very difficult to guard him one-on-one. He does a good job of drawing fouls. He can get his position and hold it. And if you double team, he's a really good passer. And so it's fun to watch those two compete. It was really fun to watch them compete in the first game, and two really good players that have a skill set which is interesting, not the norm anymore. And but they're two unbelievable players, and it will be fun to watch them compete on Sunday afternoon.
Hubert, in that first NC State game, the guys shot 36 of 39 from the free throw line, but since then it's been under 60% of the game since then. Have you noticed anything mechanical with the guys' free throw motions that you've been able to, talk to them about?
No, I don't think it's anything mechanical. We just haven't shot the ball as well from the free throw line. I think we're a really good free throw shooting team. I don't think we're 36 for 39 type of team, as well as, we're not making 15 threes like we did against Clemson. But you're right, statistically, since that time, we haven't shot percentage-wise from the free throw line like we have in the past. And but it's something that we work on and something that we feel confident about. And we also feel like it's an important part of our offense, is our ability to attack the basket through post, penetration, offensive rebounds, so that we can score and we can get to the free throw line. So it's a huge part of our game, and when we're getting to the free throw line and we're making our free throws, that's really good news for us.
Hubert, in regard to possibly tweaking some things personnel-wise, making some changes, is this, as a coach, do you talk to these guys before, after practice, like, all right, look, this is why we're trying to do this, or do you even, does practice just explain it? You see what I'm saying? Like,
No, I talk
do you have
to
to
them all
talk your
the
way
time.
through it, I guess?
It's not talk my way through it. I talk to the guys all the time. I mean, I'm in constant communication to them, and it's a conversation. I'm in communication with them on what I see, what I feel, what I'm looking at, and I love getting their perspective on things, on not just on what I have said and what I see and what I think. I want to hear what they think.
Right.
And what they see. And so with the players, there is no vagueness, no misinterpretation. They 100% know from A to Z anything where I'm coming from and what I'm thinking and what I want to do from everything. That's just the way that I communicate. I'm straightforward and direct. And that's the way that I've communicated with the players since I've been a coach.
Hubert, you've said in the past, I know you're not fixated on quad one wins and things of that nature, but what do you need to see from this team these last 5 games for you to be like, this is an NCAA tournament team?
Well, I don't look at it like, okay, this is what I need to see for this team to be an NCAA tournament team. What I always focus on is the process. I want us to reach our full potential, and I don't think we have. And I want us to play really well. And I feel like this season has been inconsistent from the standpoint of, I feel like, you know, we take a couple steps forward and then we take a step back. And so that's what my focus is on, because I feel like if this team continues to improve and this team plays up to its potential, I don't have to answer that question. I think it'll take care of itself. And so that's just always been my perspective, as a player, as a coach, as opposed to looking at where you want to go. What do you have to do in order to put yourself in a position to get there? That's where my focus has always been on, and that's just the kind of communication I have with the guys.
In your first answer, you mentioned getting more room for Armando, making it easy for him to catch passes down there. What kind of tweaks can make that happen? Like put more shooters out there, put more shooters who make shots? How do you see that?
There's a number of things out there. Different play sets, different positions or areas on the floor to be able to get him the ball, emphasize where he has gotten the ball consistently really well, to be able to reinforce that even more so, particularly in transition. All of the above, it really is, and Armando's, to me, is the biggest piece for us offensively, because his game allows us to score consistently down on a post. His game gets people in foul trouble. It gets us into the penalty. His game opens up everything for everybody else, and it's not this guy's more important than this guy, but for us to be the best that we can be, Armando's got to be great. And Armando's has to have the ball. And that's where I want it.
Time for about 2 more.
Have you had some hard conversations with some guys this week? And if so, how have they responded to that?
Can you tell me what you mean by hard conversations?
Well, you're looking
That's
at...
vague.
Okay, if you're... So the theme here is maybe tweaking some things, maybe more drastic than tweaking some things that would require some conversations. So have some of those conversations been hard to have with some guys as far as maybe discussing their role changing a little bit? And if so, how have they responded?
I haven't had any hard conversations. I've had constant, clear, and upfront and direct conversations with pretty much all the guys on the team. And so my conversations that I've had over this past week are no different than I have them throughout the entire season. I am direct, straightforward, clear, straight to the point. They know exactly where I'm coming from. And so, and I don't have a problem having conversations, whether they're difficult or not. I just love communication. And so the communication between myself and the players have been really good this week.
Pete Nance is in a slump. I don't think it's a secret to anybody in the last 5 games. Have you talked to him about his mentality? I know when Caleb was going through something, you said you did talk to him. So how do you get Pete back involved in the offense where he can hit some shots, or how do you approach that with him?
Well, how I approached it with him was that I don't look at Pete as, the percentages in terms of you shooting the basketball are not very good. I think what Pete has in his bag and what he brings to the table and what he can bring to the table, shooting the basketball from the outside is one of many things. I just look at him that way. That's the way that I've always perceived and looked at Pete. I think he can be an unbelievable defender. He's a guy that can guard guards out on the perimeter as well. He can guard in a post. He can block shots. He can rebound. He can run the floor. He can score around the basket. He has the ability to shoot the ball from the outside. He can get offensive rebounds. He can dive on the floor. He can drive and make plays. He's an excellent screener and passer. That's what we need from him. So it's not, I need you to hit a shot. I want Pete to be the best that he can be because I believe that that's what he can do. That's how I look at him. That's how I perceive him. And number two is our team needs that.
Last one, because Caleb's ready.
Just to follow up on what you're talking about, Pete, I mean, how is he doing? Like, is he mentally okay or is he down on himself? He seems to be very in tune to, trying to fit in with the team, as you've said before. Like, is he doing all right?
He wants, that will be a question to ask him, but I know that he wants to play his best and he wants to win. I know that, and he desperately loves being a part of this team, and he wants to contribute to the best of his ability to allow this team to be the best that it can be. And I know that's he desperately wants that. I do.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Caleb.
Thank you.